Hello everyone and welcome back to my channel. I'm really excited to be sitting down and filming with you today. It's been about 2 weeks since the last time that I filmed. I was away on vacation for a little bit and so I pre-filmed some videos, and then last week I just decided to lay low and not film anything. So I'm really happy to be back on camera. I feel well rested, a little bit more like myself, and I'm excited about what we're going to talk about. These products I literally had to go get out of my everyday makeup bag, so review is sort of spoiled. I've already been loving them, but I want to share them with you guys, and I thought the best way to do that is a sort of full face of this brand called Kosas Cosmetics. I've been trying these out for about a week-ish, a week and a half now. I've tried their lipstick before, which they've been slightly repackaged, which we will get to later in this video, but they just came out with a new face product, their Tinted Face Oil. It retails for about $42, and AILLEA Beauty reached out to me to say, hey, do you want to try their face oil out? And I countered with, what if we did a full face video, which is something that I really like. I like to feel like I have a full impression of the brand and the products that they have out, because just because one product doesn't work from a brand doesn't mean another won't. So yeah, I like to do well-rounded reviews. Hopefully you guys can see that, and let's hop into this one. So starting off with the face product that is sort of the star of this video that everyone has been talking about. This is the Kosas Tinted Face Oil in the shade 02. So there's 10 shades total, but they say those 10 shades fit about 30 different skin tones. So hopefully you will be able to find your shade within that. I know that Kosas has a really helpful customer service team that can help you out. So does AILLEA Beauty. So you will be able to find your shade or a very close match to it. You get 1 fluid ounce. One thing I really appreciate about this product is there's no extra packaging. So most of their products come in boxes, and I know it seems silly. Little cardboard boxes don't seem like a big deal, but think about the thousands upon thousands, maybe even hundreds of thousands that are being created, and that's a lot more waste, although they can be recycled, but a lot more waste and a lot more energy going into packaging instead of just having something that's self-contained. So I really appreciate that. It's a plastic package. It has this matte white bottom to it and a matte black top, and on the very top you'll see that there is a shade guide. So it tells me the shade 02, and it gives me a little idea of what the shade will look like, and I find this to be pretty accurate. As I said, this retails for $42. I can already tell you it's worth the money. You'll get a lot of uses out of here because you don't need a lot of the product. I'm going to start applying it and show you guys. So one thing to remember is to always shake it first, and it's a very liquidy formula, so you only need a small amount. And the way I would describe this is it almost feels like, if anyone has tried the SkinCeuticals SPF sunscreen, it's like a mineral based sunscreen. It's very watery. It literally will run down my hand, and they tell you to apply this like a moisturizer. I don't find that to be effective. If you have perfect skin, perhaps you can apply it like a moisturizer, and I'm just going to do it on one half of my face so you guys can see it. But if you have any dry areas, the one thing that I have noticed, and the one downside of this foundation, is that it does grab to dry areas. So for example, I have some acne that's healing right here that's a little bit dry and scabby, and I know that it's going to cling to that, so I'm being a little bit more conscious of how I apply it around there. However, if you have great skin, then by all means just slap it all over your face. So that one little drop we did covered about half of my face, but I think you can see how much it evened out my skin tone. This is obviously the half that doesn't have anything on it. This is the half that does. It's very interesting. So one of the reasons that I was hesitant towards getting this foundation, I know I look crazy because I'm talking to you guys with half my face done, half my face not, but it was because of the name actually. So a tinted oil foundation to me seemed like it was going to be very slippery, like it was going to give you a very dewy look, and perhaps if you have oily skin, I have both dry and oily, yay, that it would just slip right off your face, or it would look too greasy, and this couldn't be further from that. It actually dries quite velvety, and it dries and stays in place. That's the one thing that I really appreciate about this foundation. You can feel it set on your skin. I'm gonna go ahead and do the other half of my face while I keep talking to you guys about it. So again, that little drop was just enough for about half of my face. So I'm gonna go in with another little drop. You can see how much it runs. I'm just taking my finger and sort of like gently patting it on, and I found that this was the best way for me to apply it and sort of control how it clings to those dry areas. But like I said, you can actually feel it setting on your skin, which is really nice. I think sometimes with green or clean cosmetics, they don't set as well. as a traditional product or a conventional product because it's missing some of those ingredients, but this I definitely feel setting on my skin, and I've worn it in heat, I've worn it for a full day, I've worn it when I've done nothing, I've worn it when I've done a lot, and I've found that the stay power is great. It also does a really good job of blurring pores. So around my nose, I have some larger pores. Around my cheeks, I have larger pores here, and it definitely fills in those pores, if that makes sense, and gives me a more flawless looking complexion. Now, this isn't going to be a super full coverage foundation, so I've gotten a lot of questions like, how does this compare to the Gressa foundation? The Gressa foundation is a little bit thicker. It also means you get a little bit more coverage, and I find the Gressa foundation to be slightly more buildable than this one. I do feel like even if you add a little bit more, you don't get that much more coverage, but it's certainly a wonderful everyday foundation. And if you're like me and you're someone who doesn't like the look of heavy foundation, but you just want something that's gonna correct color, that's gonna make your skin look healthy, velvety, not oily, but just have a nice glow to it. If you want something that's gonna last you a full work day, then I would definitely recommend this foundation. It's very low maintenance. I am gonna add just a touch more in some of the areas that I find I usually put concealer. And I'll show you guys how it builds. Like I said, you really don't need a lot. These are tiny drops that I'm adding. So I always add a little bit more here where I have some dark pigmentation. And when I've been wearing this, I haven't been wearing any concealer. I've been feeling good enough coverage-wise in this. I'm gonna add a little bit around my mouth. Again, being careful of those drier areas. I have found that sometimes it does settle in the creases of my nostrils, so after I'm done applying, I always make sure to go over it to make sure there's not extra product hanging out there, and I found that that mitigates any of the product settling there. And a little bit on my chin where I'm dark. So this has become my go-to product pretty much every day since I've gotten it. It's sort of made me love wearing a base again. I'm someone who usually just wears my Suntegrity tinted sunscreen. I've worn this underneath the Kosas Tinted Face Oil, and I found that it still holds up really well. It layers wonderfully, so you can wear an SPF under it, and I don't think it affects the coverage or how nice the product is. I really like the finish of it. It looks like your skin, but better. Not as full coverage as Gressa, like I said, so you'll still see freckles, little spots coming through, which gives you a more natural skin-like appearance. It definitely feels very lightweight, and you don't notice it on your skin. It doesn't transfer, so if you give someone a hug, I haven't noticed that it comes off on a shirt or anything like that. It definitely sets in place, and that's kind of why I've been loving it. I'm gonna put on some brow gel and mascara, and then I have a couple other products to share with you guys. So the next product I'm gonna share with you came out, I think, about a year ago, maybe a little bit less, and that is their Color and Light Cream Kit. So it comes with two colors. I have it in 8th Muse, and it is a blush color and a highlight color. This was something that I'd been curious about for a while and was excited to try out. It was definitely a different texture than I was assuming it would be. So the cream products are actually quite light and glossy. They remind me a lot of the Tata Harper lip and cheek tints, however more pigmented, which is kind of all you can ask for. I loved that Tata Harper lip and cheek tint, but I did feel like you sort of sacrificed on the pigment for the glow and the gloss, and this you get both, which is wonderful. This color works perfectly on my skin tone, so I've been really loving to wear it, and I do feel like the Tinted Face Oil gives me enough coverage where I actually need a blush because I do look a little bit more washed out and I need to add some pigment back into my skin. This is super easy to apply, very blendable, very buildable, and very natural once it's on your skin. I've even gone a little heavy-handed with it sometimes, and I still feel like I can pull it off because it just looks glowy and glossy and really nice. This is also sort of a get ready with me video because this has been my everyday routine for the past week and a half. I'm gonna add a little across the bridge of my nose just to look a little bit more sun-kissed. Now they have these in different shades. This one is beautiful and happens to go with the lip color that I ended up choosing, and I felt like this palette would be a great everyday color. But as you can see, I still get a lot of shine to my cheeks when I'm wearing this, and the highlight is the same sort of formula, so it's very glossy. It's not stiff, which for whatever reason I was anticipating that this palette would be stiff to the touch, but in fact it's quite putty-like, if that makes sense, and then it turns into like an oil, a tinted oil, as you dab it in, and that's when it sets in place. It almost reminds me more of a lip product texture. I'm gonna do a little bit of the highlight which is a really pretty golden shell color. I think that their messaging is on point. These are everyday products. This is definitely, in my opinion, very similar to Glossier's message, which is just these are products to be worn every day. They're subtle, they look like your skin but better. I'm just gonna add a tiny bit onto the bridge of my nose, now my Cupid's bow. So next is the lipstick. This is in the color Rosewater. This is the perfect everyday pink. I am not someone who wears lipstick every day. I've been wearing this every day. I just love the color. I love what it does to my lips. It's very soft and very subtle. They did change the packaging of the lipsticks a little bit, so they're a tiny bit smaller, less bulky, and then there's actually a magnetic top to it, which is really nice. And I prefer the smaller size because I had their lipstick in darkroom, and although the packaging was beautiful, it was a little bit bulky. This one has rounded corners instead of it being quite so sharp. And it feels a little bit sturdier for whatever reason, maybe because it's more compact, there's less air, I don't know what, but it feels a little bit sturdier and definitely fits in your bag better. I'm going to apply this on. I've just been applying a little bit by tapping it on, and then on the top really defining my lip with it. As you can see, it's a super subtle, really nice, beautiful rosewater color. Their lipsticks are very hydrating. They almost feel like a tinted lip balm, and I haven't noticed it settling into any cracks. So if you tend to have drier lips, I would definitely check out their lipsticks. They also smell, I don't know if I'm remembering this correctly, but Tom Ford lipsticks have a very almost vanilla-y scent that is so wonderful and so iconic, and I sort of feel like this lipstick has that scent to it. It's just like a really nice scent to have right under your nose. It's not sweet by any means. It's just a soothing kind of vanilla-y scent. I really, really like it, and I'm impressed by how comfortable these lipsticks feel, and you can definitely like tap them in and they act more like a stain, and then you can apply over top. They're just very versatile. You guys know that I love products that you can use a lot of different ways. So those are my impressions of the products I've tried from Kosas. I'm really enjoying them. It's kind of funny. I tried all these Gressa products just a couple weeks ago, and I really enjoyed those, and I felt like they were high pigment, high coverage, and really unique to the natural beauty world. And now I'm trying these Kosas cosmetics, which feel very much like everyday products, where they're really lightweight, they're really blendable, they give you a nice glow, and I feel like I'm sort of caught in the middle of two worlds. Like, where do I go? What do I want in my everyday bag? And I think the reality is I want a combination. I want to have both products, and I want to make sure that I have the spectrum of, if I want a really high coverage look, then I'll use the Gressa foundation. If I want something that's a little bit more everyday, but more than a tinted moisturizer, more than a tinted sunscreen, then this Kosas tinted oil is definitely for me. Don't be deterred by the name oil. I definitely was when I first heard of it. I thought it would be slick and really oily and really light in coverage. This face product is none of those things. It really does do a good job of covering imperfections and redness and color correction, but it doesn't feel heavy on your skin. It also really sets on your skin, so it's gonna be in place all day. It's not gonna move around. It's not gonna slip off your face, and you're not gonna look really slick. It is a velvety finish. The color and light palette and the lipstick have also made their way into my everyday bag. The color and light palette for me is the perfect everyday blush. It's just pigmented enough where I feel like it's doing something. It's not super pigmented where I feel like I need to be worried about putting it on in the morning, like I need to be super precise with it. It is something that can be very, very fast. The highlight is super natural. If you're someone who's into the highlighted look, but highlights can be too dramatic for you, definitely check out this palette. It's very natural on the skin. It really only shows when your face catches the light, and even then, it just looks like dewiness. It doesn't look like anything too crazy. And the lipstick is my favorite color of the moment. It's probably gonna be in my favorites video. I just think I finally found the perfect pink. I've been getting very close with some of the lipsticks that I've tried, but this is definitely my favorite pink color. I think it'll be universally flattering on so many people. And yeah, it's just a great everyday, very comfortable lipstick. So Kosas Cosmetics, keep up the great work. I'm very excited to see what the future holds for you. I really am enjoying these. If I can get my hands on other colors, I will show you guys swatches, stuff like that. But I'm really happy with this little collection, and I feel like this is another great foundation collection. So if you're looking for a face product, a blush, a lipstick, then these are 3 products to definitely check out and consider adding to your collection. If you guys have tried any of these products, please let me know down in the comments below. I think it's always really helpful to have a variety of opinions. Like I said, for me, the only downfall about the foundation is it does grab at dry skin. So I actually exfoliated before this video, and then I put on a moisturizer to try and get rid of some of those flakes, and now it's not grabbing. But had I not done that, I would have seen a lot of grabbing towards these like scabby sort of dry areas, and that never looks good. So dry skin, be wary, apply to the areas that aren't so dry. If you have oily skin, I think this would be great. If you have normal skin, I think it would be great. So that all being said, I hope you guys enjoyed hearing my thoughts on this new product. It was definitely fun to try it out. Thank you so much to AILLEA for sending me these products. I will link everything down below that I mentioned, and I hope you guys have a wonderful rest of your day or night or whenever you're watching this. I will see you all on Friday, and I'm doing my best to catch up on comments this week, so thank you all for being patient with that too. Okay, I'll see y'all soon. Bye.